Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just going to do a real fast introduction. You read the title already, you know what's going to happen. I'm just doing the top 10 Animal Crossing villagers. It's going to be real quick and let's just get straight into it with honorable mentions. So these are all the honorable mentions. I'll go through them and tell you why I love them so much. So Kid Cat I really love, but he couldn't make it into he just barely couldn't get into the list. He was on the list for a super long time, but then I took him out for some better villagers. Aurora is adorable, and I actually have her in my New Horizons town right now. She's adorable. I almost put her in, but then I ultimately decided there were more villagers that I loved. Julian, super creative. It's a male, and most people, if you looked at it, you wouldn't think it was. So I think it was a super creative thing to take a horse and make it into a unicorn, and I love any villager that has stuff like that. Marshall, a super sought-after villager, but but some people would say that I was generic if I put him in the list, but that wasn't the only reason I didn't put him in the list. It was also because I just so happened to think that there are other, villagers that just seem better to me. Agent S was also super close, along with Kid Cat. Now, I have both Kid Cat and Agent S inside my New Horizons town, but it's I just don't feel like, just because the sentimental attachment is there, I don't feel like that's enough to get them up there. And we're back to Julian's situation. Tucker is the same situation, except I think Tucker also has a cute aspect to him. Now, it does take away the mega creativity, because I would have thought it would be cool if they added a woolly mammoth villager. I could think that, but I would never have thought of a unicorn villager being inside of Animal Crossing. Zucker is super cute. Call me generic. It's awesome. He's really creative and kind of barbaric, though, that he's a squid, and he's based on a squid type food. And then Tank, sentimental attachment purely. I just love the leaf on his head. He's a super cool guy. I love jock villagers, and this just so happens to be my favorite rhino. Tangy is just a very smart design, I would say. Taking a tangerine and making it into a villager cat and calling it Tangy. That was super clever. Egbert, he just looks so cute, and I love him. It's just, I feel like I haven't had as much sentimental attachment to him, and it's purely because I like his design, and I just didn't think that was enough to get him on the actual list. So those are all the honorable mentions. Now let's move on to number 10. Number 10 is Buck. Now, Buck is purely because of sentimental attachment, which I did say in the honorable mentions wasn't enough to get Kid Cat or Agent S up to the main list. But Buck squeezed by because he was my first ever villager in the Animal Crossing play that I can really remember. Now, in New Leaf, I kind of remembered it, but it was only one specific villager that stood out to me, and I just couldn't really remember most of the villagers I had. Now, looking back on it, I had some pretty good villagers, like Rocket, but it's still I feel like Buck just stuck with me so well, because I really liked him as a first villager, and I really like jock villagers, as I said earlier. I just feel like Buck has been in my New Horizons island for so long that I feel like I would just be guilty if I hadn't put him on the list somewhere. Number 9 is Ketchup. Now, Ketchup is a really cool villager. I really like Ketchup because it's, again, cleverly designed. And it was a duck, but it doesn't just look like a ketchup bottle. It looks still like a duck with the rosy cheeks, and then at the top it looks like a tomato head. It looks amazing. So then it just ended up looking really cool with all the yellow highlights and then the green up top, and the eyes are just amazing. And if you look at the belly, there is that little rainbow type thing at the bottom, and then they took a part of that and put it on the flippers, and it just ended up looking amazing. So I really just like Ketchup because it was so cleverly designed, and I love its design. But other than that, I don't have any emotional attachment to it, so I decided this was a good place for it. Number 8 is Lucky. Now, Lucky wasn't my favorite for a while, but Lucky is super cool now. Now, I didn't have any real emotional attachment to him until New Horizons. So, I think number 8 suits him, and there's more villagers that I just tend to like better. Number 7 is Goose. Now, Goose is a chicken, and I thought it was really smart to make his name Goose, even though he's a chicken villager. I thought that was hilarious, and I love his design. Again, Jock villagers vibe with me very, very well. And he just seems like an overall cool guy, and in New Leaf, he was one of the villagers that I took note of. I only took note of a couple villagers, but he was definitely one of them. Now, even after all of that time, he's been through both of my sister's towns in New Leaf and my town, and I came away from New Leaf to play New Horizons for a long time, and then decided recently, hey, why don't I check up on the good old island of Quinn? Or not island, the good old town of Quinn. So when I went in and I found out Goose was actually still there. He was literally on the outside of my house when I loaded up the game. It was insane, and he's still been here even after all the time that I was away from that game. I love Goose overall, and I really wish I did have him in my New Horizons town, but I just don't know who I would give up if. Number 6 is Joey the Duck. No, Joey, many people actually don't like Joey because they think he looks weird with the big eyebrows and tiny eyes. But I think the tiny eyes make him look so cute, and then the eyebrows just make him look even cuter. Still, I think Joey was amazing, and I really wish I had him in my town, but I just don't have any more space. Number 5 is
theme that I think would look cool.
Wolfgang. Wolfgang is just super nice. I like Wolfgang because he's a cranky villager, but at the same time, I had good memories of meeting him at first inside of New Leaf. Because in New Leaf, he was one of the first villagers I ever got. Both me and my sisters all got him. And I loved having him in my town. It was amazing. He sadly moved out, so then when I came into New Horizons and found out I had an opportunity with an amiibo card, I immediately jumped at it and moved out Brofina for Wolfgang. Because Wolfgang is my only cranky villager that I have inside my New Horizons town right now. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. But I feel like he's just so amazing that he deserves that spot. Number 4 is Apollo. Now, you want to talk cool-looking, cranky villagers, Apollo is where it's at. Now, Apollo is just so cool-looking because he's an eagle and everything. I thought he was a jock villager at first until I realized he was a cranky villager. Now, he's still, all the same, and he's awesome. And Wolfgang is kind of like him because they have the same personality type. Now, Wolfgang's design is awesome, but Apollo's is just so cool. The narrowed eyes on the eagle face just made it seem very nice. And then the wings are gray and the body is gray. That was really creative. And then you want to talk cool jackets, Wolfgang. black suits Apollo so well. And I just think he really, really suits the color black without that stupid zipper on. So I think they really upgraded him in New Horizons. Number 3 is... Oh boy, am I going to be called generic. Now, Raymond, I just think, is such a cool villager. And I know everyone loves him, and some people hate on him because of how popular he is. But I really love his design. He's the only smug cat in the game. The black ears mix very well with the gray coat of fur, and then the black hands is a really nice touch. The fact that he's an office worker and has glasses that are covering up his gorgeous eyes that have green iris on one side and then a brown iris on the other. And I just think that was super creative to have the only smug cat in the whole thing have another thing that no other villager has, the 2 different colored eyes. Number 2 is... Bill. Now, Bill is super cool. Now, I think, first of all, let's address his name. Bill's name is super incredible. Now, the name Bill is already a name in real life, but the fact that they decided, let's put that on a duck villager to make it like a bill that the ducks have, like their bill, that was super creative to me, and I think he was just so well designed. If you look at the hair, that seems so cool to me, and I feel like he's just an upgraded version of Joey. The eyes are a lot bigger, and he's a jock villager, which always makes points in my book. And now for number 1. Number 1 is... Bob! So, Bob I just really like because, again, he's the only... Or not the only, sorry. He is the first villager that was ever created, and he's been in every single Animal Crossing game to the date. But I think Bob is really cool, and he should get more credit. Thank you all so much for watching. It was really fun to make this, actually. I don't know why. I just love talking about my opinions, which is why I made the second channel. But I had a really fun time making this overall, so I hope you guys really enjoyed it. My phone is at 1%, so I can't record this anymore. But goodbye, everybody.